Hello, this is Mythos History. I'm your narrator. We've brought you many stories from here, but have you ever felt guilt? Have you ever felt it so strongly you wanted to punish yourself? Would it be possible you go too far? What is the price of guilt? We are about to find out. A man wakes up in the foyer of a massive home. The late day sun shines through the exquisite stained glass. The man doesn't recognize the home. The man looks down and sees he is wearing an expensive suit that is popular in his day. It is covered in a light layer of dust. The man stands. Hello? There is no answer. He takes a step and the stone, one of many making up the floor, goes down. There is a click and he could hear a faint whirling of gears below him. The man steps to the side quickly and watches the stone raise up on its own. What the devil? The man gently whispers. He decides to leave the room. Afraid of the gears he could barely hear. The only way forward is straight, so that's the way he goes. He enters a parlor room. Luxurious velvet couches and chairs are sitting here and there in the space. The man steps further into the room. By the fireplace on a small table is a bottle of liquor. The man looks around. I guess I will help myself. He goes over and pours himself a glass of brown liquid. The man drinks a large portion of it and leans his head back. It was whiskey, and it was heavenly. The man looks around and sees that there is an open doorway. He walks into the next room and finds that it's a lavish dining room. Sitting at the head of the table is a plate full of turkey, mashed potatoes, biscuits, and cranberry sauce. The man's favorite food. Was this food for him? Since he hadn't seen anybody to stop him, the man assumes he can eat this feast. It was then when the man noticed how hungry he was. He tried to savor the food, but he ended up wolfing it down. No longer empty and starving, the man looks around. There is an open doorway on the other side of the room. The man gets up and walks through it. He finds himself in a hallway. The man walks down it and hears music playing at a low level in a room at the end of the hall. The man follows the music and enters the room. At the far end was a phonograph. The man slowly walks towards it. Just before it on the floor was a space streaked with dust. The rest of the room had a uniform layer of dust on the floor. The man stops before the phonograph. The music is beautiful and haunting. The man finds himself captivated by this music. The man listens to the music for a couple minutes until it ends. That is when the floor drops beneath him. The man screams as he slides down. His momentum is stopped when he falls into an empty space and lands in a large mound of hay. The man crawls out of the hay onto the floor. The man stands and sees he is covered in dust from this floor. He pats his suit and makes little clouds of dust fly into the air. It is then when he sees where he crawled on the floor. It was streaked dust and slightly cleaner than the rest of the floor. What's going on? Is this a demented game? Hello? Hello? Answer me. I want answers. The man screams. He receives no answer, just the emptiness of silence. The man looks around and sees he is in a basement converted into a lab. The man walks up and down the long tables. Sitting on them was equipment of every type. Bunsen burners, beakers, scales. Too many pieces for the man to take in. In the corner was a white lab coat hanging. The man didn't know what all this was and was afraid of it all. He searched the basement and found some stairs hidden behind a wall. He walks up and finds himself in an indoor garden. The man walks among the plants, careful to not touch any of them, for in front of many of them was a small sign with skull and crossbones on it. After the garden, the man found himself in what looked like a ballroom. In the corner was a collection of flowers surrounded by candles. The man investigates and finds no clue why they are there. "Hello?" the man cries out. It is odd that no one has responded yet, the man thought. The man wonders and finds more stairs. These were longer than the previous set. When he gets to the top, he is in an observatory made out of glass. There is a telescope on the far side. It is late day, so stargazing would be useless. Spaced out in the observatory is equipment. Most are meters with cables running upwards. The man looks up and sees a tall lightning rod at the very top of the glass dome. The man wonders what all this is for. Undeniably, the man is drawn to the telescope. Its gold shine glimmers in the sunlight. It is magnificent. Watching the sun gleam off of the gold was truly mesmerizing to the man. Perhaps he can look not up, but out. Maybe he can find some help. The man swings the telescope, but its movements are tight and it clicks. The floor gives way and the man falls again. His body lands on something, but it doesn't stop his momentum. Once again, he lands on a large pile of hay. The man crawls out and brushes himself clean, or as clean as he can get. "Damn it to hell," the man whispers. The man looks around and sees he's in a bedroom. He also feels nature calling. The man goes to a door on the far side of the room. He opens it and finds a bathroom. He hurries to get to the toilet before he soils himself. After some time, the man stands and pulls his trousers up and washes his hands. He takes a moment to put his hands on the sink and look in the mirror. What's going on? Why am I here? Like a rat trapped in a maze of horrors. Who would do this to me? The man wonders. Silently, he vows he would get out of there. He leaves the bathroom and goes to a second door with no hesitation. He opens it and walks out in the hallway. After a couple seconds, he sees a stairway leading up. He walks up the stairs. This time he finds an attic. This room was brightly lit to make up for the lack of windows. There was only 4 circular windows in the attic, each pointing to a direction much like a compass, the man assumes. On the far side of the attic, the man sees another phonograph encased in a wire cage. He takes a step and sees 2 black footprints painted on the floor in front of it, along with the words, "Stand here," next to him. Finally, the man thinks. Someone else has been here. How else could this be here? The man thinks. He walks to the footprints and sees a screen behind the phonograph on the wall. He stands on the footprints and the floor clicks, and the section of the floor depresses slightly. The phonograph starts playing. Something else turns on. From the clicking sound, the man could tell it's a film projector. On the screen appears an image of the most beautiful woman he has ever seen. What comes out of the phonograph horn is a voice that sounds familiar.
Hello, I see you have made it. Again. What you are experiencing is your sentence for the crime of murder. You accidentally killed the love of your life, Clarissa Benton. I know you saw the shrine built to her in the ballroom. You two were madly in love. She was the best parts of the world. Kind, intelligent, happy, curious. The list goes on, not to mention her rare beauty. She was living evidence that the heavenly realm existed. You are the preeminent scientist of the world. Chemical, astrology, electricity, botany were all kingdoms under your rule, plus the hobby of alchemy. You were a god. This all came down when Clarissa died. She accidentally touched one of the plants you saw earlier. Over a short time, she began to weaken. She died in your arms as you two danced. She loved the dance. It was a small comfort you could give her in her final moments. The constables investigated and found the death accidental, but you knew different. It was your fault. You knew some of those plants were dangerous, but you failed to warn Clarissa properly, so wrapped up in finding all the secrets of the universe. All of this is because of you. How do I know this? Because I am you. We came up with a plan, a punishment worthy of us, to explore our home over and over again, never able to learn or remember. No knowledge gained in the end. The house, our home, will be slightly different each time you go through this to prevent possible accidental memory retention. The frontier of the brain is new, and it was a point of interest of yours before you, or to be more accurate, us, killed Clarissa. The food you ate earlier had a tasteless chemical in it to wipe your memory. After a catalyst, of course, which was in the whiskey. We provided ourselves with a way to use the bathroom so we don't get any skin conditions or illness from walking around in our filth. The music you heard earlier was the song that played while you danced with her before her death. This is a prison of our own design. Over and over we will do this until I will not tell you. It will be a secret forever kept from us, like the face of God.
The whole time this voice was speaking, a picture of a breathtaking woman was on the screen. She was so beautiful, it brought tears to the man's eyes. The voice continued. No! The man screams. There is a bright flash from the screen, and the man collapses on the ground unconscious. The phonograph stops. A pair of metal arms lowers from the ceiling as steam shoots out the joints of the arms and grabs the man. They hold him as the floor opens. They gently drop until they get to the first floor. They lay him down on a stone floor in front of the stained glass in the foyer. The arms start to rise back into the attic. Gears and machines start to whirl and click as the house starts its process of resetting for the next time, when the man wakes up in a few hours. Guilt is a powerful emotion. Even if something is not your fault and is purely an accident, if you feel responsible, the guilt can make you feel bad, make you try to make amends, even though it wasn't your fault. Sometimes, like the scientist, many of us can feel guilt to the point where we punish ourselves far more than is needed.